Good morning, all. The time is now 10:30 on September 3rd, 2025. Welcome to this special meeting of the Los Angeles Unified School District Board of Education, including closed session items. I'm going to take roll. Ms. Newbill.
Present.
Dr. Rivas.
Present.
Mr. Melvoin. Ms. Griego.
Here.
Ms. Gomez.
Here.
Ms. Ortiz-Franklin. Board President Schmerelson.
Present.
And I see Mr. Melvoin is here. And I see the superintendent is here. Okay, I'm going to report out on the purpose and authority for today's meeting. I'll read today's purpose and authority for the meeting, and then we'll take public comment, and then the board will recess into closed session. And I'm going to read it slowly for our translations folks. Under tab 1, a conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation under Government Code section 54956.9. There's one case. Under tab 2, personnel, pursuant to Government Code section 54957, there is public employment for Chief Financial Officer and Deputy Chief Procurement Officer and the Superintendent's evaluation. Under tab 3, conference with labor negotiators pursuant to Government Code section 54957.6. The negotiator is Dr. Murphy, and the employee organizations represented are Associated Administrators of Los Angeles Teamsters 2010, California School Employees Association, Los Angeles County Building and Construction Trades Council, Los Angeles School Police Association, Los Angeles School Police Management Association, Service Employees International, SEIU, Local 99, Teamsters, United Teachers Los Angeles, and district represented employees and contract management personnel. The negotiator is Ms. Navarra Reed. For the unrepresented employees, Chief Financial Officer and Deputy Chief Procurement Officer. Now we will go directly into item-specific comment. And the first individual signed up to speak is Mr. David Tokovsky. I think I saw you in the audience, Mr. Tokovsky. There you are. You'll have 2 minutes to speak once you begin. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm speaking on potential litigation. As you know, the test scores in the virtual schools of LA Unified are abysmal. They're damaging to children's education, their equity, their equal opportunity. You need to take a look at those and see if there is a point of litigation that you could pursue against the federal government for its damaging children's education by creating an atmosphere of fear in which they are taking refuge in the Florida virtual schools or whatever standards are being used because the achievement level, if you look at it just for a second, math is 3 standard deviations below the districts. Even though the district has improved in general, the virtual schools are pretty damaging. The state budget, you're bringing on your renewed CBO today. Have you formed with the governor? We're now at the point, even though we're finishing up legislation, we're now at the point of making asks from governor who is pursuing visibility when the Trump administration's cutting and damaging education. He's pursuing education. This is a perfect time to be speaking about agenda items, hundreds of millions of dollars to put on his agenda for his January announcement, which will be done roughly Thanksgiving time. And finally, counterintuitive. It took me a long time. I know enrollment is really important in a school system, but Prop 98 gets little discussion and little understanding. If you look at LA Unified's budget over the last 10 years, the amount of money LA Unified has received from the state has grown each and every year. Grown. It's increasing. And the number of students is decreasing. When the students decline, it doesn't mean you get less money. You get money based on Prop 98. That means you're getting more money per child, which is roughly about $25,000 a kid now. It was about $10,000 when I sat in your place. And so you need to look at that growth of revenue, and when you talk to your CBO, see if he understands Prop 98.
Thank you for your time. The next individual signed up to speak to tab 1 is Cosette. Cosette is not signed in online right now. Are you in the room, Cosette? Not here. Okay, we'll go directly to tab 2. Personnel. We have Matt Rethley calling in, so please press *6 to unmute yourself, Mr. Rethley, and you have 2 minutes to speak once you begin. Matt Rethley. I see you're on the line with us, Mr. Rethley.
Yes, good morning. I'm sorry, I was just unmuting. Good morning, board. Just calling in again about the superintendent evaluation here. Matt Rathley from Broadway Elementary and other schools in the district, wanted to talk briefly about how really the decisions that the superintendent has made have, well-intentioned, maybe have not always been to the advantage of all the students around. Specifically, he may be getting some misguided information from folks in District West, which I know many of my parent counterparts have spoken about. I would really recommend that the board emphasize with the superintendent when they deliver his review that he needs to listen to all of the stakeholders, and that if he makes a mistake, he should be allowed to fix that mistake. We're still reeling at Broadway Elementary from the poor decision made by the superintendent and by his staff to get rid of Rochelle Garman as our principal. It's not the way it was, and really it's an opportunity for us to hopefully set course right here for us to keep Broadway as one of the top schools. Broadway is the top language immersion school in Los Angeles Unified. Why would we not want to continue down the path of making Broadway one of the best schools? Please make sure to focus on allowing him the grace to correct these mistakes and allow him to get this fixed over at Broadway. We really are still reeling quite a bit. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Looks like Cosette is now online with us. Cosette, please press *6 to unmute yourself. And you have 2 minutes to speak once you begin. To tab 1, Cosette.
Okay, thank you, board, for your time. My name is Cosette, and my child is a student in LAUSD. I'd like to reflect on past lawsuits that illustrate the need to foster equity towards the Asian community. On Mandarin language, students and their families remain neglected by the district. One notable case focused on harassment and bullying. After reports emerged that administration had not properly addressed incidences, the settlement led to special programs and training to ensure a safer school environment. Yet MI families have been bullied by an eccentric parent through illegal recordings and harassment, which we've complained about but have not heard back. Additionally, lawsuits were settled relating to overcrowding in schools. Concerns were raised about inadequate facilities which impacted learning experiences. LAUSD committed to infrastructure improvements. The class cap is supposedly 20, but our Mandarin students remain in class sizes of 25 plus each year with no TA support from the district. Currently, LAUSD is facing litigation over alleged misuse of $77 million, redirecting funds meant to hire new arts teachers to other expenses. Likewise, our forensic accounting team found similar redirection of funds intended for students at Broadway that were illegally spent on other initiatives, showing disregard for our Asian community and devaluing our Mandarin students as though they don't deserve the funds allocated to them by law. Yesterday, I became aware of the ACLU's letter to LAUSD regarding the district's attempt to silence Broadway parents. Agnes Kamal violated our First Amendment rights when she forbade us from using social media or the Broadway name in unofficial conversations. These lawsuits serve as a reminder to hold the powers that be accountable. The district preaches about access to educational resources in underserved communities, yet the issue of systemic Asian hate led by Lydia Acosta-Stevens must be resolved. Our students have been left without standardized testing, without a Mandarin curriculum, without Mandarin books on library shelves, and without any Mandarin-speaking representation within the ranks of MMED. This neglect towards the 6 other immersion programs within MMED, who are largely made up of immigrant families, undermines the equity in access to education that LAUSD supposedly claims to stand for. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Okay, moving on to tab 3, Conference with Labor Negotiators. We have in-person and remote callers. I will call on the in-person folks first, and also note that Ms. Ortiz Franklin is here with us. Let's see, Deanna Guillen, are you out there? And after Ms. Guillen is Maria Daisy Ortiz. Ms. Guillen is going to speak in Spanish, so if you'd like to hear what she's saying in English, please put your hands up and we'll get you these translation headsets so you can experience simultaneous translation. listos, gracias.
Buenos días, miembros.
Good morning, members of the board. I know that you will have a special closed session meeting or with labor negotiators, and honestly, we're very worried. As parents, you should probably, as parents are, and I believe that you should probably be as well. There's a rumor. UTLA has said that they would ask for a raise, which is 40%. And I believe that is an insult. Last year, they were given 20 or 25% of a raise. And besides, they had received a retroactive pay. And we are asking for parents to receive a tip so that they can have dinner somewhere because of the work that parents do. But this is a retroactive pay. They're giving the money based on something they haven't done. I believe it is an insult knowing that you will be asking and announcing what the parents union are asking for. The teachers union is asking for. I went to my son's school, and this is one of the best middle schools in the area, and the teachers were saying that it is 100 to 81% A, B 70 to 81%, C 60 to 41%, and D is 40 to 21%. Basically, 20% and below is an F. And I remember that when my older children were at school, 50% and below it would be F. Therefore, you are lying to our children now. Stop lying to our children and stop agreeing with this mediocrity politics or policy that they're asking for. In the contrary, you're lowering the standards. Why? Because you are approving this, or you're not realizing. Why are you sitting here? Don't pretend you don't know. Honestly, it saddens me knowing that you're lying to my child, telling him he will be obtaining the grade of a B when he's a D.
Gracias.
And you're lying
Thank
to
you
the
for your
community,
time.
and they're not progressing.
Miss Maria Daisy Ortiz, I see you're out there. Please come on up. Miss Ortiz is going to speak in Spanish, so if you're using the headphones, please keep them on.
¿Ya? Sí, gracias. Muy buenos días.
Good morning to all. My name is Maria Daisy Ortiz. And, well, yes, obviously, you will always hear from me. Education is not a negotiation, because the only thing that our students have to succeed in life is to have a quality education in which you are not responsible of, or you are not satisfying the necessity and the competitive necessities of our students. In the contrary, you are disturbing their dreams because of of what you're doing. Honestly, I want to tell each and every one of you, especially the superintendent, that there is a goal called academic excellence. Academic excellence, what is excellence to you? To have teachers that are not located in the appropriate place, having bad campuses, that's another deficiency. And graduate children with the Ds, that's another deficiency. Is that what you're calling excellence? Or do you not know what excellence means? For me, it's academic falseness. And you can't continue to stag our children's education, negotiate with the unions, but with results. Because teachers continue to give a methodology that sometimes doesn't allow our children to learn. It is very low. And therefore, you need to have innovation, you need to have creation, and you need to have a projection to where children explore their potentials. It is not a good teacher if he gives enough Fs. In the contrary, it's a teacher who shows the child or the student to have content. This is why what you should negotiate. When Burbank was a focus school, it was a focus school because it was a trash school of LAUSD. All the teachers that did a bad job at other schools were sent there. They had to work with elector agreement so that everyone can reapply, and 85% were new. And also with the curriculum of instructions. That's what you should negotiate. Quality of education. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you for your time. Okay, the next speaker is Marcela Garcia. Marcela Garcia is signed up to speak remotely, but she's not online. Are you in the room, Ms. Garcia? Next is Raquel Diaz. Raquel Diaz, you're signed up to speak remotely, but you're not online, and you are also not in the room. And Karina Lopez, also signed up to speak remotely, but not online. That concludes item-specific comment. The time is now 10:44, and the board is going to recess into closed session. Okay, welcome back. The time is now 2:58 PM on September 3rd, 2025. Ms. Newbill, Dr. Rivas, Board President Schmerlson, and Mr. Melvoin are all in attendance, so we have quorum. I'm going to report out on the items discussed. Just tab 2, personnel. The Board of Education appointed Saman Bravo Karimi to the position of Chief Financial Officer with a term beginning on September 17th, 2025, and ending June 30, 2027. Terms and conditions will be available upon the finalization of the agreement. The vote was 7 ayes. The Board of Education appointed Dana Greer to the position of Deputy Chief Procurement Officer with a term beginning on September 17th, 2025, and ending June 30th, 2026. Terms and conditions will be available upon finalization of the agreement. The vote was also 7 ayes, and now we're joined by Ms. Griego, so we have 5 board members. That concludes business today. Unless there's any objections, shall we adjourn? No objections. Okay, the time is now 2:59.